Hey friends, it's Awkwardly Random with Cinthya and Michelle, where we talk about random topics.
Anything and everything awkward is on the table, so let's dive right in.
Hey everybody!
Hi, welcome back.
Welcome back to another episode of Awkwardly Random with Cinthya and Michelle.
Ooh,
Back at
hi.
it with another episode and a part 2 to our relationships topic or conversation or episodes. I don't really know how to describe it.
Part 2, romantic relationships with Jasmin.
With Jasmin. Hi, Jasmin.
Yep.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I feel so honored and privileged to be back. Thank you.
How have you been?
I've been pretty good. Life's great. Moved into a new apartment in the city and looking forward to a new chapter in life.
There you go. You're back in. This is where you grew up, right? In this area.
Yeah, this is West Humboldt Park. So if you know, you know.
I don't.
Hood. I'm back in the hood. But it's cool. It's cool.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm good. Just, trying to enjoy the weekend. Busy with work. Stressed, but good. And, happy to be here. Happy to talk to you.
Same.
How have you been, Beans?
Good. I mean, so it's Sunday for those. Oh yeah, you're not gonna know this, guests or listeners. Today's Sunday. Tomorrow's Monday, and we got to go back to work tomorrow. So just trying to enjoy the rest of the day. But I really we've said this so many times. I really enjoy doing these podcasts. So it's a nice way to spend the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Glad we're all doing well. Hopefully our listeners, you're all doing well. Hopefully you enjoyed part 1. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's on our YouTube and podcast platforms, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's entertaining. It's funny. We're just talking about different things and being honest. So enjoy.
And having fun while doing so.
Yes.
So last week we talked about the honeymoon phase.
Ooh.
What it is, what do we think it is, what are our experiences with it, all that kind of stuff. People can have different answers and have different interpretations of it. Totally fine. We don't have an awkwardly random question, but we do have a hopefully fun segment regarding the honeymoon phase. So we'll do a round or two. We'll go in a circle or whatever, and we'll each give a statement that we feel
a statement so official.
I don't know how else to describe it.
Give an example or
I said statement. Wow. Yeah, you're right, Michelle. An example of
a whole ass statement.
An example of when you feel you're I guess out of the honeymoon phase, or you've gotten to a point where you're real comfortable with your partner.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to go first?
I will. How I know I'm real comfortable with my partner is when I walk around. I don't know. We can erase this if this is too much.
Oh God. You can give general.
Starting off good. Starting off juicy.
A general statement. This is
a statement.
Yeah, a general statement. I know I'm comfortable with my partner when I walk around naked. No problem.
Nice.
Okay. Or is that what is the question? Am I?
Okay. No. It could be like when you're not in the honeymoon phase / or when you're just comfortable with someone, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that works too though, because you're super comfortable with somebody.
Yeah. When their armpits
so that works,
and I can tell them like, girl, your armpits stink, versus feeling like really embarrassed,
Yeah.
So there you go.
Honest.
When you can be honest about their odor.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes. Yeah.
Statements. General statements.
Not saying that her armpits stink.
I put deodorant on.
That was just
I showered and I put deodorant on, I promise.
Nice.
You know what, Michelle, you go next.
Okay. General statements. Okay. When you fart in front of somebody, in front of your partner, I think, or when you poop, when you poop or go to the bathroom like with the door open. And those are the ones that come off like that I can think of. But we already said these off like recording, so I kind of stole them from you.
No, that's all good. I'm thinking also of like when you wake up first thing in the morning and you either have like, night breath, or you wake up with like bed hair or whatever and you just don't. It's just a regular thing, You're not worried about your appearance whatsoever.
Yeah, same.
I feel like that's a sign that you get real comfortable.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like being out of the honeymoon phase or whatever, but I think that's a sign of, you're gonna like me no matter what. I'm gonna like you no matter what, and it's fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, and that's normal. I think that's part of like life and living together with a partner.
Yeah.
You're not always going to be all done up and with your hair done or makeup or whatever,
You can love them when there's a little crust under their eyes. That's how you know it's real.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I was going to say something personal, but because sometimes for me, it's so bad to, I like to put on at least like eyeliner, right? Or like mascara. At least, right? But then sometimes I don't wash it properly, or eyeliner or mascara is kind of hard to like take off. So sometimes I have residue and I just leave it like if I'm working from home and like don't have to be on camera. And then I go to the bathroom like at the end of the day and I look at myself and I'm like, Jesus, you didn't tell me I look like this. Like, why didn't you tell me I look like a raccoon? You know what I mean? I was like, I didn't notice. Like, that's
but I think another part of that is like your partner doesn't care or is unfazed by it. It's one thing for you to be comfortable, and it's another when they just go about their day like it's nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
So those are some good examples, some good statements.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get into the conversation. These questions that we came up with are, I think, kind of hard to answer for different reasons.
Hard.
You'll probably you'll see why they're hard to answer once we ask the questions, but let's go ahead and get into it. This is going to be romantic relationships part 2.
It's getting a little deeper and more detailed.
Yes.
And I'm sure we can even with this episode, I'm sure we can expand in the future, but this is what we're going to focus on.
Okay, let's get into it. I'm kind of scared to ask this question because I don't even know how to even conceptualize it, I guess.
I know. I don't. Yeah, same.
Okay, so Jasmine, as our guest, we're going to ask you.
Okay. Hot spot. Got it.
Yes. Yep. What is love? What does that look like to you? How would you define it?
Okay, well, first, I have to point out that when you ask what is love, I started singing that song.
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
Yeah.
Hey, don't hurt me. And then it kind of reminded me of, okay, side note, before I answer the question, I'm delaying it.
It's okay.
Procrastinating. Do you know Precious Moments?
Yes.
They have like, what is love? And then dot. What?
Oh, wait, never mind.
Movie? No.
You know the little
Precious. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm like, what movie is that?
No
movie. I get it. Go ahead. Yep. Got it.
I love it. Yeah, it is. They just reminded me of like all those definitions of love. But for me personally, love is when you like, what does it mean when I love someone, or just love in general?
However you want to answer the question.
Yeah, however you want to.
Well, when I love someone, for me, love is being open to them as a person and being trying to understand and working to understand who they are as a person and why they are the way they are, and not being very critical of them, and kind of just embracing who they are and loving them for who they are. And that's a big reason. I mean, that's a big thing of love for me. That's one aspect. And for me, that's the biggest aspect of love, is when you can understand them or try to understand them and appreciate their differences.
Yeah, without trying to change them, right?
Yeah, unless they're like racist or something, you know. that's a difference that we can't get past. But you know, like if it's like, oh, I put the plates this way and you put it that way, you know, like those are minor differences. I think those are important to understand, because sometimes it's the little things that can break a relationship.
Yeah. So it's like paying attention to more of those details about the person. Yeah, I guess like how you said, understand them. I could see that as being an aspect of love. Yeah. Maybe in general too, right? Not just romantic love, but just like in general, trying to get to know the person, what makes them who they are.
Yeah. And I'm no expert, so please don't hold me to this, listeners. This is just my understanding of love. So
it's hard. It's hard. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know.
I know, right? It's just hard.
I'm just like, what the heck? Like while you were answering, I was like, what is my definition? Well, I don't. I guess when I think about love, I think about the people I love, right? And for me, it's all based off of relationships. So it could be either romantic or like family or friends, right? That you feel love for people. And for me, it's being there for somebody, or them being for me, and me accepting how people are and people accepting how I am, and acknowledging me, validating me, and me doing the same thing for them. So I think I don't know how to define it besides being there for someone, and like you said, embracing them and acknowledging them and encouraging them and just being there for them. I don't know, you know, while they're being like that with you, but mostly based on the relationship. I don't know, you know, but at the same time, like it's like also like an emotion and a state of being, and you know, love doesn't really require another person. Like you can have love for yourself, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. That's what I have to say. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's like one specific definition or one specific aspect of love. I think there's a lot of things that kind of encompass it. And I think the word that comes to mind a lot when I think of love is vulnerability. So someone's vulnerable with you, and you fully take them in for the vulnerability that they're giving you, right? Like you are accepting it, you are embracing it, you're not judging it, all of that, you know. And then you can be vulnerable with them. At least I think that's kind of what love can entail, is vulnerability, and being and having that safe space for someone to be vulnerable with you. Yeah. And vice versa. Like it's reciprocal, kind of like how you're saying, Michelle, like it's kind of can be both ways. And I guess for yourself, if you love yourself, the same thing, right? Like you are taking in all your vulnerabilities and you're creating a safe space for yourself. To be vulnerable and yourself, right. You're embracing your innermost self. And if you do that, I think you can better love other people. So you know, I think it kind of starts within yourself. But as babies, I always think about like child development. I'm not trying to like talk about work or anything, but my philosophy is that kids, like we as human beings, develop within the context of relationships. What is your relationship with the people that are raising you? What are they teaching you? You know, you develop this perception of relationships and the world and how to engage with other people and how to make friends. And you learn this as you go, right? From what you're modeled and what, you know, what you see growing up, and then also what you experience, you know, at school or in other environments or at the playground with other kids. And you really start to realize like what an impact a reciprocal relationship can have on you. So I think you carry that into adulthood too, when you start to form romantic relationships. You start to realize, what do you want in a relationship? What do you not want? And and then you figure out, do I love you? I don't, like, that's a big question to ask.
I feel like love is different for everyone. And what I really liked about, I mean, obviously we're only 3 people in this whole big world, but we each had a different definition of love. And I feel like there's so many different aspects of love and so many different definitions of love based on like what you were saying, Cynthia, like who you are, where you're from, you know, what country you grew up in, what era you grew up in. You know, there's just so many definitions of love. So what is love? I feel that's it. There's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
To that question.
We're interested to hear what you all think,
right?
Like about what is love or how you define love.
How have you given it and how have you received it? You know, either within yourself or
but is love an emotion or is love like a feeling? Like
a verb.
To love.
Like,
and it could be a noun, lover.
But I feel like when you love someone, it's an action, like, or it's something like it's an act of being.
So what do you call that feeling of when you love somebody? Like, what is that? You know, like don't you? Because like when someone like say like I miss my mom or like my grandma, right? Like that, I feel love for them. You know what I mean? And it's like internally, I don't know what it's called, but I feel this like you feel it in like your chest. You know what I mean? Like you feel like this like overwhelming, like maybe it could be calmness with a mix of happiness, with a mix of, you know what I mean? But like there is, at least for me, I feel feelings like in me, like physiologically when I love someone, like my mom and my grandma or like Jesus, you know what I mean? Like, but do y'all feel the same way, or is it just like, you know what I mean? Because yes, it could be a verb, yes, it could be a noun, like, but like, do you feel it? Like, do you
like I feel it in my chest.
Do you
I feel it in like, my soul? I feel it in my bones.
Like that's what drives you sometimes, right? Like the love for yourself that you have to like do whatever you want to do. Like I think that's love for yourself.
And it drives many choices we make in life. Like, who am I going to put effort in for, right? I'm willing to drive to you however long the distance is. Because I love you, right? I wouldn't do that for everybody else. You know, I think it can be kind of specific, and I think it could be, like you said, Michelle, like an emotional state, some sort of state of being that I think maybe is always there, but sometimes we feel it more, you know, either when we're longing for somebody or when we're with somebody, you know, it's just,
I think we are love.
Right.
So that's why, I mean, obviously I'm just like speculating this. I have no idea if this is really true, but this is what I like really feel, that we are love. And so when you were saying, Michelle, that, you know, you feel love inside of you, it's because that's who you are. You are love. Like there's, you're not love. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. But you're not love. You are love. And that's who you are. That's your being. You were made up of love. So I think that's why we feel it inside of us.
That's a good way to look at it.
That was good. I like that.
Gracias.
Nice.
Gracias.
All right. That was very theoretical and deep. So we're gonna move forward. What is another one? I know this was a question that Beans we talked about after we wrapped the first episode, and it's like, what is the difference between saying I love you versus I'm in love with you? So I love you versus I'm in love with you. What do y'all think?
You want to go? Our special guest.
Jasmine always goes first.
I know.
All the hard questions.
Let's spice it up.
Okay. You'll do this one, and then one of us will answer the first one.
The next one. I feel the difference, but well, for me, I say I love you to pretty much everyone that I feel that I build a bond with. So like if it's like a first time I meet you, I'm like, bye, I love you. Like that's just like who I am.
The first time.
Yeah. And have you had any weird responses to that?
To be like, oh, okay. But I'm like, I feel like we need to normalize saying that, because what if that's the last time I'm ever gonna see you and I feel a bond with you and I'm like, damn, I missed my chance to say I love you, you know? So I say I love you to all of my friends every time, and I don't know if you've ever heard this, but every time I'm on the phone with them, I'm like, okay, bye, I love you. And some of them say it back, some of them don't. I don't take it personal. It's just, I love you. You don't have to love me back. So when I say I love you, it just means I got love for you. Like you my homie, you know? But when I'm in love with you, that means that I see my whole life with you.
Yeah.
Or at least like right now I can see my future with you. And I can visualize something with you. I want to do this with you. So that's why I just feel like I'm in love with you is a deeper, like you, I can feel it, you know, versus me saying I love you, I love you, I love you, versus I'm in love with you, like I'm in love with you. It's just a whole different, I don't know, like a whole different tone too. At least
yeah, for sure. Okay, so me, you're like, you go. Okay. I feel like I don't see a difference. And maybe because I am not looking at it too technical in the wording of it. I just feel like love is love. You know what I mean? But when I learned about the difference between I'm in love with you, like that specific language was when I was watching The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, because they say it because they want to differentiate between the people who they love versus like someone who they're in love with to who they want to like propose at the end and see a future, right? So that's where I learned the difference, and that's really recently. But in general, I feel like it's hard because like I said, love is love, but I can see the difference between I'm in love with you just for your romantic partner. You know what I mean? So that's where I see the distinguishing factor of it. But and just relating to what you said, I didn't grow up saying I love you a lot. And I don't know if it's just because that's how we were raised, and it just wasn't really super like we talked about our feelings, but we never really said I love you too much. So when I use it, and I'm trying to get better at it, because I agree with you, like you should, like if you love someone, you should say that, you know, like if you're feeling it, you should say it. So I agree with that, but it was hard for me to do that in the beginning, because when you don't really grow up normalizing that, it can be really scary or like awkward or like weird to like say it. So when I used to say I love you, especially like with my romantic relationships, it would take a lot out of me to say it, because it wasn't normalized for me. But yeah, just to like give my experience with that. But I mean, I agree. I see that that there's a difference, and obviously, I'm in love with you for romantic partnership, and then I love you to whoever you feel love for.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Michelle. Like
it's still hard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like it's still hard.
Yeah, it is. It's very hard. I'm the same way. I didn't grow up. No one in my family told me I love me. I mean, I grew up in foster care, so you know, you don't have a steady love. No one really ever told me that. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm like, because I would be like you. I wouldn't tell any of my significant others I love them. I'm like, nah, for what? You know what I do? You know what I mean? Like, why I gotta tell you? I'd be like, no, I don't have to tell you. Anything. But then I'm like, well, you know, for me, saying that is not, and it's not for them. It's not for me. It's for them. You know, because how do you know when's the last time somebody told them they love them? You know, and that could kind of make a difference in people's lives. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna say it because I don't know who loves you, but I love you. So just so that you know somebody loves you. You know?
Yeah, for sure. And I did the switch, especially within my family with my mom, because obviously I felt loved by my mother and like the people closest to me, but we never really said it. So now, and when I was a little bit younger, like maybe starting high school, college, we started saying that. And at first it was like weird, but then now it's like you should say it because that's how you feel, you know what I mean? And it should be normalized, like you said. But it did take me some time to do that. That doesn't mean I didn't feel loved. It was just the actual words of saying it. So if my mom is listening to this, I love you, Mom. And
love you, Mom.
Didn't want to make it seem like, you know, she never said it. Obviously she did, but it wasn't like every single day, you know? But that's just how I grew up.
That was going to be my point too, of like, it doesn't, just because you don't say it doesn't mean you don't feel it or you don't love the person, because I'm similar to you, Michelle. We didn't really grow up and same to you. Like I just didn't grow up really saying it very much, but I felt it. It was like we already knew that we loved each other, right? So why say it if you already know,
it's a given.
Yeah, it's like a given. There we go. And so but and I think I had mentioned this in a previous episode when we were talking about emotions or something like that my brother, my younger brother, my only brother, he is super affectionate, very affectionate, verbally and physically too. Like he's always giving hugs and stuff, but just like he's always like, I love you, Nini, I love you, I love you, I love you so much. Like he's just so like affectionate in that way. And it's like my sister and I were not like that, but we love each other so much, and I would do anything for her, right? And she would same with her, right? But like it's just interesting how people have different temperaments, different personalities, and some people are more comfortable saying I love you and others are not. But it doesn't mean that they don't love you if they don't say it.
Yes.
Right? And you can express love through your actions by being there for them, all that stuff. But I also, when I hang up the phone with my mom, I'm like, okay, love you, bye. She'll say it, I'll say it. And, we'll say, love you, bye. So, and then like with you, Michelle, we've said it to each other, but only through text.
Yeah,
like
it's so weird.
Like a comment, but not verbally
like, love you.
Loud.
I know. Yeah.
And usually only when like moments when we like post about each other on our birthdays. I remember like I'll be like, happy birthday, Mish. I'm so grateful to have you as a friend. I love you.
Yeah. And I was like, because it feels like when we grew up in that, like it just feels weird saying it.
It feels awkward.
I don't know why it does, and it shouldn't.
And I feel like it feels more awkward to say I love you versus just love you or love ya. People like make it really casual, like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
But it can be really impactful to somebody, like you're right. Like if someone doesn't really hear that very often, just to hear it from somebody, can make all the difference. So I encourage people to say it, if you mean it, right? And and receive it, embrace it when you do hear it. But just interesting. Oh, I also agree with what you guys said about, or what you both said about the difference between love and in love. I think the in love is when you see a long-term thing with somebody, when you want to build a life with somebody, that's when you're, I think, in love.
Yeah. So how do y'all feel? Okay, I'm just gonna add this because we all speak Spanish, so I'm gonna divert a little bit from our little outline. But how do you feel about te amo? Because we all speak Spanish, and obviously girls be speaking Spanish at home, but like te amo seems so like freaking serious.
Yes,
you know what I mean? I don't know, like
en vez de te quiero también.
Like, so we would say te quiero mucho, right?
Yeah, same, but like te amo, like what do y'all think about that? Like te quiero, te amo, like have you said it? Like how does it make you feel?
It sounds more serious in Spanish.
It sounds more passionate.
Sounds like a telenovela. Te amo.
Sí, exacto. And because you can hear it in the novelas. Like when they say te amo, it's very passionate.
Te amo.
Te amo con todo mi corazón.
Me muero por ti.
So anyway. So te amo to
it makes me cringe. I don't know why it makes me cringe. I don't I don't know. Do y'all feel the same or like awkward? Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'll speak for myself. I feel awkward saying it. So when someone says te amo, I'll be like, I love you too.
Yeah.
I won't say te amo también.
That happened the other day.
Yeah.
I was just saying te amo because I felt like speaking in Spanish, and then she's like, I love you too. I was like, okay, I guess you don't want to say it in Spanish. Whatever.
I'm like you, Michelle. It's not cringy, but like, I mean, I didn't cringe when you said it, obviously.
No,
not,
no.
But like, I just go back to the novelas that we would see as kids, or or your parents would play in the on the TV, and it was just so passionate and raw, and like all these things, very dramatic. It's so it just goes back to it, and if even just saying I love you can be awkward, like te amo feels even more awkward to me.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I would like to retract. It's not cringy for me either, but it is awkward.
Very awkward.
And Jesus has said it to me, like te amo, or like, but I don't know if it was like joking, because I think for him it's also like super like like super like passionate.
Right.
But I don't know if he was joking or not. I don't know.
Oh,
But we
gosh.
started, yeah. And then I mean, I said it to him too, obviously.
Yeah.
But then I was like, wow, we never really say that because we usually just say I love you or love you,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And even like it just sounds like I love you. Te amo. It just sounds like very a different tone.
Or like te quiero mucho. Like I'm used to
Yeah.
saying te quiero mucho versus like te amo.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know, I would say that to my cousins, my grandparents, te quiero mucho Wita, you know, or like la quiero mucho Wita, you know, whatever. So it's just a common thing. It's like saying love ya, you know?
Yeah. So is te amo just known for like a romantic partner? Because I've seen other people say te amo to like their parents and stuff.
Yeah,
or,
and
like,
I've heard parents say it to their kids.
Yeah, same.
But I don't know. I don't know. I think
like I don't know.
I guess it weighs on the seriousness. What do you think?
And individual preference and experience. You know, if you grew up hearing that, you probably are more likely to say it. I never grew up hearing that.
Yeah,
necessarily.
Same.
So
I never heard anybody say te amo, especially because my parents are divorced and stuff. And like, it was always like te quiero or like te quiero mucho or like.
The only person I remember saying te amo was Rihanna in her song.
Nice.
Te amo. What is it?
Yeah.
I don't even know how it goes.
I have no idea, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I remember like when I had graduations and stuff, my mom would write me like a card or something and she would say te amo mi niña, you know, like she would write it, you know.
That's cute.
And I think maybe it's a little bit less awkward to receive that to like through written word, right? When you text somebody I love you, or you know, but hearing it from somebody is like a whole other thing, or saying it to somebody out loud just adds another personal layer to it. Why do you think it is so awkward to say love you, I love you? I know one thing is that we didn't really grow up with it, but in general it can be a really awkward thing. And sometimes you wait to tell your partner you love them because it can be so uncomfortable and you don't know how they're going to react, and it just feels awkward to you, you know, like why is that a thing? What do you think?
I think maybe I'm not supposed to go first, sorry.
No, yes, you're the guest. You can always go first.
I'm like, y'all go first and then I jump on this one.
No, you go for it.
Sorry.
If you want to go first, it's completely okay.
Yes.
I think it also has to do with like the media and the movies, you know, they're like, I love you, and then they're like, I love you too, and it's like this big passionate scene, you live happily ever after and your life's perfect, you know. So I mean, I feel like we have grown up to be like, if I love you, you have to say it back or it means you don't love me, you know. But love also, people just show it, you know. Some people don't say I love you, and I think it can be awkward because like you said, you can be scared, like what if they don't love me back? But you know, just because they don't say it doesn't mean they don't love you. And I feel like it's, people take it so seriously, like obviously yes, love is serious, but at the end of the day, I feel like we're love, like you are love, I'm love, you're love. So why are we taking it so serious, you know? Just I feel like it shouldn't be as awkward as it was. I mean, for us, I don't feel like it was awkward, but also we had liquid courage in us.
So we had a few drinks in our system.
Yeah, we just went to like a concert and we were like having a great time and stuff. So
liquid courage, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like this big ordeal, you know, where you like, I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't be as awkward as it is. And sometimes people just need to lighten up, loosen it up, and just say I love you. And if they don't say it back, either you're with them or you figure out if you're not going to be with them, you know?
Right.
You know, maybe it's just an evaluation of your relationship. To say like, okay, maybe I feel serious and you don't.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it could be a talking point, and also that's awkward too, because then you don't want to talk about it. Oh
my gosh, I just made a realization when you were explaining that about myself and why I think for me it was awkward before. I don't think it's awkward for me now, but it was awkward for me before when I was younger, because when you say you love someone, I saw that as an emotion, you know, and sometimes you don't have to say it to feel it. But I think when you say it and the way that I like, nobody really said it and I thought it was a big deal and it's super serious, like it takes vulnerability to say that,
Yes.
especially if you come from like how I was raised and like my father, like not being like having abandonment issues because of my father and stuff like that. Like that, like for me, that's why it was really hard to say it in the beginning.
Right.
And that's why it's the vulnerability of it being like, yes, like having not someone not say it back because you're scared they're not going to say it, having to deal with the abandonment issues, like it's a lot. So I think that's why for me it was very awkward to say it in the beginning. But I agree, like now that I'm older, I have like that mindset of Jasmin, like it doesn't matter if somebody says it back, like if you feel it, like say it, it's okay, like you know what I mean. And if they don't want to say it back, that's fine, that's on them, but at least I said what I have to say and that's okay, you know what I mean. And
Preach, girl.
Yeah, that's huge.
and like I always thought like about love as this thing like that I had to protect, like I'm never, you know what I mean, this precious thing. But at the same time, like love is, it can be infinite. Like there is no amount of quality of love that you have that will be gone if like you say it too much, you know, like that's not a thing. And so I had to like reprogram how I thought about love. And that's why it's not as awkward for me anymore. But yeah, it took a lot of growing, and like I was like, damn, I was going through a lot when I was younger. But yeah,
I really like that. You really validated that, like for me, and then also maybe somebody else listening, I don't know, but when you said me saying I love you to as many people doesn't mean I love someone else less. I really like that. That's a powerful point.
Yeah, because it's limitless.
Yeah.
So let's keep it going. When we talk about saying I love you to your partner, we're talking about romantic relationships here. Is there a specific timeline? You know, should you wait a little while before saying it? You just say it when you feel it. You know, what do y'all
You're
think?
gonna have to answer because you didn't answer the last one.
Yeah, you
go ahead.
You gonna answer first?
No.
Yeah, you gotta answer first.
Oh god. So go ahead.
You're the guest.
Is there a specific timeline?
I give you creative freedom.
Oh gosh. No, there is no specific timeline. At least in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that if you feel it and you feel comfortable saying it, I don't see the reason why not to say it. Even if you are a month in, 2 weeks in, 6 months in, a year in,
2
whatever.
weeks in?
I mean, some people,
3 days, 2 days. You think whenever anybody feels it, just say it?
Go ahead. I honestly feel I get her point. One of my foster parents, they were together for 1 month. They moved in. And they said I love you after 1 month. They've been together for 16 years.
Wow.
So a month.
I'm like, damn, okay.
Well, and some people
a month is a good amount of time. But like a week.
I don't know. Okay, think about it.
Especially for romantic relationships. Like, you know what I mean? Specifically romantic relationships.
Well, this makes me think of love at first sight, if that's even a thing. Like, do you know once you see somebody that you are going to marry that person or you're going to be with them for the rest of your life? You know, I don't know if that's a thing. It might be for some people. You might go on a first date and you realize, wow, I can see a life with you. I love you, or something like that. I don't know. I feel like that can happen. I don't think it happens as often. I think the more common thing that you see or that we see or we experience is time and experiences, and you get to really see all different parts of them, right? Like what are their triggers? What makes them anxious? What makes them happy? What makes them laugh? And, you know, taking all of that and you love every part of it, or you're putting in the effort to get to know them. I think those are signs that you love them, right? And I don't know if it's like from one day to the next, you just like, oh, wow, okay, today I love you, right? Now I'm going to say it. Like, I don't think it kind of happens just like that. Maybe it comes with time, or kind of like how you had a realization, Mish. It's kind of like that, like, oh, wow, like kind of just smacks you in the face. At least that kind of happened to me. And you're like, oh my gosh, I love this person, you know?
Yeah.
And then, but in terms of when you say it, I think what can happen is you feel it, but you don't say it when you feel it right away. You might wait a little bit I think part of it goes back to what you were saying, or we were talking about. You might feel nervous about how they would respond. Will they say it back? Do they even feel the same way? Right. So I think that also happens too. So, but to answer the question, I don't think there's a specific timeline for everybody. I think it really is individual. It's based on the individual. That's my answer. I answered. Okay.
That's a good answer.
Great answer.
What do you think, Jasmine?
I agree.
Or should we move on to the next one? Okay, we all agree.
Yeah.
Right?
Seems like we all agree to that.
You do you, boo.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so there's no specific time. Who? I mean, we can share this or not. I can also cut this off. But you know, who said I love you first? You know, did you wait before you said it? Did you say it the moment you felt it? What was your experience, Michelle?
Oh my goodness.
If you want to share it.
I'm gonna share. I'm not gonna share too much detail, but like y'all, I had the liquid courage in me. I was the first one that said it to Jesus. And yeah, I had some liquid courage in me, and this is kind of embarrassing because, you know, when you exactly like what Jasmine was saying, like when you say I love you to the person who you want to see a future with, you want it to be like this romantic thing, and like because of the movies and stuff like that, right? So when I think about the time that we said it to each other, I was just so young. Like I was I don't remember how old I was. Maybe I was 21 or something. It was in my 20s, 21, 22. I don't remember when I said it to him. And I was tipsy, and I said it to him, and then he said it back to me, and then I started crying.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what happened. I'm not gonna go into too much detail after that, but that's what happened. And it's a little awkward sharing that because, you know, you want it to be this like really big special moment, but at the same time, like I don't know if I would have said it sooner or after if it wasn't for that, you know.
Well, and I think you can decide whether it was special or not. Like special doesn't have to mean extravagant and like a fancy dinner and rose petals everywhere to say it. I think you had your moment and you cried, you teared up. And I think even that's special because I feel like, well, I'm assuming, right? You can explain this if you want to, but it seems like you had teared up out of like this strong, it was like an overload. Like I just feel so much love for you and I just had to tell you. And you said it back, and I'm just like overwhelmed with all this love.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what happened.
And that's special.
It made me feel better about it.
Well, I think that's special. I think that's special. Yeah. I wish I cried more.
Yeah. Need some more tear ducts.
Yeah. There's like nothing, but I feel it. I promise. I just don't show it here with my eyes.
Yeah. What about y'all? When did y'all have y'all said it? When
Liquid courage, both of us. You said it first.
I did. Oh, I don't remember.
We had a little too much liquid.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You don't remember? Do you remember where we were?
Oh, we were on the street somewhere downtown.
We were downtown.
Downtown Chicago.
Nice. Walking to our Uber to take us to where we parked her car.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to pay for parking downtown. So so this was after a night of, we went to a drag queen dinner, Fleetwood Mac drag dinner. It was really fun with some friends. And then we went out with those same friends, dancing to a bar, whatever. So you know, we did the drinking. It was a really, really good night. We didn't get wasted or anything, but it was it was just, you know, we had just enough.
Yeah. We got lit.
We got a little lit. Nice. So and that was how long into it since
I would say 2 or 3 months.
Probably 2 to 3 months in for the most. So it was somewhere on there. And kind of just casually slipped out, I feel like, at least for you. And I responded this was me. What did you just say? Oh, like to me it was like I was not expecting it.
You're like, really?
I was like, wait, you do? You know?
Well, we're walking on the street. That sounds so cute.
And I don't know, you just casually was like we were just like walking all happily, like I love you, you know, just like very así casual. And I was like, oh my god, I love you too, yay. You know, and it was just like a fun walk to the Uber,
and then we lived happily ever after.
For sure.
So yeah, it was liquid courage.
Yeah.
That's so cute. That is cute. Yeah.
Mhm.
Just to clarify with Jesus and I was a tipsy one. He was sober.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that was nice that he thought that was sweet while I was tipsy, and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that was
Yeah,
that.
I think
That
your
was that.
moment
That was
was
that.
special. I think you did have a special
Thanks.
moment.
I thought it was super
Yeah.
cute.
Thanks.
Cool.
And like even cuter the fact that like he wasn't sober. I mean, he was sober
Yeah.
and he still said it.
Yeah.
That makes it even more memorable because it's not like, not saying that ours wasn't memorable, but the fact that he's like, all right, I love you too. And I'm going to love you like no matter what, you know. You could be liquid courage and all, but I still believe
he didn't even need the liquid courage, it seems.
Yeah, and like he still believes, you know, like some people be like, oh, you're just drunk or whatever.
Yeah. True. Thanks.
Also,
right,
you have at least
on.
one person, just really quick, you have one person at least who remembers the whole situation. Because
I remembered it. Yeah. I remembered it too. I mean, I wasn't drunk. I was just tipsy, you know, and I have just felt this feeling, and I was like, I have to say, like how you said, like I have to say it, or else like I don't know what else to do. I have to say it. So I just said it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cute. Okay, go ahead, Mish. What's the next question?
Okay, next question. How do you initiate physical affection, like hugs, kissing, hand holding?
I just initiated it. I know we can delete this if it's too much, but she was like, I want to hold your hand, and I was like, okay. So I just held her hand.
Cute.
And she's like, oh my god, it's that easy. I'm like, yeah, it's that easy.
Okay, if you know me,
was this in public? In public or like like
we
just
were in
you
her
two
car.
in private? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She was driving, and I was also liquid courage, right? Like I was a little bit tipsy, so I wasn't driving, and I was like,
and I was sober, so I was kind of like
sober
this time,
yeah. And I was like, I've been wanting to hold your hand, and like I was just too nervous to tell you and to like try it, and she was like, here, like give me your hand. I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
I was like, it's heavy.
Nice. Yeah.
And you know that's about me, Michelle. Like I am really bad at initiating things.
Yeah,
or
very
not like
bad.
Yeah,
like really slow, like snail timeline of initiation.
And I will continue moving at a snail pace unless someone like gives me the push.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not the only one. There are people out there that can relate to
that.
That's
not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Yeah.
Right. But it's nice that, you know, the other person was able to initiate that stuff. Because if there's both of us that are really bad at initiating, we'd still be like waiting to hold hands like 8 months in.
We'd barely be saying I like you right now.
I know. Oh, that's good though. Nice balance.
Yeah. But you know, consent I think is important.
Yeah, I agree.
With all of that.
Consent.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Michelle, with all of that? Or your experience?
How do you initiate? Obviously, how do you initiate consent? Yes, for sure. Ask or ask and or like feel the vibes, like people's body language. Like you can clearly tell when someone is not into it. So listen to that
and respect it.
Yeah. So that. And if you're not sure, ask, because if you can't read body language, then you should definitely ask. And then for me personally, I initiated it with Jesus.
Wow.
It was me. So I don't know what else to say. I mean, I like when we met, like obviously if you heard the first part, you know how we met, and like we were at a get together after the conference. This is just me explaining a little bit, just going off of what I said before. And we were at a party, and I went up to him and I was like, hey, do you want to dance? And then like that's how we like, and then after that we just started talking, and he was so freaking like, this is where I was like, whoa, like I just thought he was so different than any other person I've ever met, because you know when you're in college and you dance with someone and like where they place their hand, like, you know what I mean? This was like a cumbia, right? And like we were dancing like close to each other, and he was so like, he put his hand like right, like not low, not too high, like right in the right spot. And I thought that was so
your
like
back
in the middle. I thought it was so respectful and cute. And so I was like, oh wow, like that's like you're different, you know what I mean? So just that like really stood out to me when we danced. And then in general, like I did a lot of the leading in terms of like holding hands and like hugging and stuff like that. And I think I like that he like gave me that he like that he liked that I did that he liked that I was leading part, like the affection or initiating it type of thing.
So when you said that like you thought he was different because he was more considerate of where to put his hands, and you noticed that he was different than, you know, like in a sense it's kind of disappointing that that's something that we like are so excited about, like that it's different, like that should be the norm, you know what I mean? That should definitely be the norm, like that needs to be what is expected, that should be the standard.
Men do better,
right? Yes, men especially do better, right? But like with any human being, consent and being respectful of boundaries, you don't know what the other person's experience with touch is. Right. And so just that was like something that kind of stood out to me. It's really special that you did realize that he's different, because that's like a really cute moment, and I just wanted to like acknowledge that too. But at the same time, like that should be the normal, like people should be like Jesus. Come on, people.
I agree. You like Jesus.
All right, so speaking of affection, let's talk about affection on social media and like posting about your partner, sharing certain pictures. What are your thoughts on that? When is there a point where it's too much affection on social media? How much should you share or not share?
I feel it becomes too much when you're not showing that in real life. You know, and I feel like people like, oh my God, I love you. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. Marry me. And they're like just whole fucking paragraph about this flowers and daisies and everything. And then they'll be like, yo, what's up? You know, when they see their partner in real life, they're like, yeah. Or they're like screaming at them, or they're like cursing at them. You know, it's like, it becomes too much when it's fake. I feel as long as it's real, it's not too much.
That's a really good point.
I hadn't thought about that.
That's all I feel.
And I would, you know, wonder like, you know, what's your reason for sharing this on social media? You know, are you wanting people to comment and like, you know, put you both on a pedestal, you know?
Hashtag what was it? Relationship goals.
Do you want to be that hashtag, you know, do you want to be relationship goals? Or, you know, do you just genuinely love this person? You just want to share them with the world, you know? Or
I think I think that it depends on the people. Like I'm assuming like if you're in a relationship with someone, I don't know if you have or have not, but Jesus and I have talked about like what we would post about us on social media. Obviously we're not going to blast private stuff about ourselves, but at the same time we do want to make it known that, you know, we are in a relationship because you know, we love each other, we've been together for a long time, so we'll post pictures of each other. So I definitely agree with Jasmine and with you, Beans, when you're saying like, what is the intent behind you posting? Like, why are you posting? Are you posting because you want to share that you are in love with this person, or are you doing it for some sort of validation or some sort of proof or some sort of whatever it is, right? It could be so many reasons. So I think it just depends on that. Like, what are your intentions, and like, are you actually being this affectionate in real life? Because if you're not, and you're just putting on a show, that is fake, and it is kind of sad.
Straight up,
you're just putting on this front that your relationship is this amazing and wonderful. That can be a little bit fake.
And I would also just last thing about that too is it's okay not to post your partner. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't mean that you love them any less or anything. You know, I think that's something that you can talk to with your partner if they feel uncomfortable. Like, why aren't you posting me? Why aren't you putting pictures of us or whatever? If you put pictures of all your friends, why not of us? That could be another conversation.
Yeah.
But you know that
you don't want
that's
anybody to
thing.
play you. That's
Right.
another thing. Like,
Exactly.
that is a real thing too, though. When people
and you don't belong in the closet, so don't let them keep you in the closet.
Yes,
you belong out of the closet.
Yeah.
I've been told, like, be careful what you post on social media because you're opening the doors for people's opinions. And in a way, yes. And you just have to be mindful to not let those opinions get to you. Because people, if you post something in public, and Michelle, you and I have talked about this in regards to our podcast. This is going to be public. Everybody can see this. Everybody can listen to this.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus.
People are going to have comments. You know, people are going to disagree. People are going to think certain things about us, whether positive or negative or whatever. And it's up to us how much we want to let that impact us or affect us. And so I've been keeping that in mind with everything that I'm sharing. You know, I'm choosing to share this, and I'm also choosing to not let people's opinions affect me. So I just went on a tangent, but it just made me think of, like, when you post about things about your partner, like, people are going to have comments, you know.
I think in general, whether you post someone or don't post someone, everyone is always going to have an opinion on something. So I guess, in general, I just think everyone's going to have an opinion.
Yep. Yeah. Just don't let it get to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question before we end this episode. And thank you so much for staying with us for this episode.
Thank you,
Jasmin. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for staying with me.
Of course. You're welcome anytime.
Having fun.
So last question. How long should you wait to meet the parents?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Just fucking with you.
Oh gosh. Should it be like this big, like, meetup, this, like, you know,
like this, like you're
over dinner, right?
Oh my god,
right.
That's so weird.
What do you think?
No, I mean, can we talk? Do you want to share how you met my mom?
Sure.
So she met my mom completely on accident, and they had, like, the best conversation ever. I was just looking at them talk for like an hour. I was like, what the hell is this? So, and when did you, like a month? I think a month into.
Yeah. A month or two.
Yeah, a month or two. It was summer. So I was like, yo, let's go to my mom's backyard. And I didn't think my mom would be there, but she came.
Well, she wasn't there when we arrived, and she got there like an hour later. Yeah. And we were eating at the table, and, like, her mom walks in, just like, hello.
Yeah, they're just talking up a storm. I was like, okay. And all of my partners in the past, they've met my parents at different times. I think it depends, like, how, when, why, like, how they meet, when do they meet, like, if you want them to meet, and, like, why are they meeting your parents? Like, is it because you want to show them, or is it just because you live with your mom, so
you have no choice?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of aspects to think about it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Mish?
You beans, you always push it to me and go, you first.
I want to hear your thoughts.
Procrastinator, let's go.
Okay, so
you will hear my thoughts.
I used to not bring anybody home unless I thought it was something serious. And that was just me, because it was like a big thing, I guess, to meet my parents. I think because I just think so highly of what they think of me and my partner. So maybe to me it was like a big deal. And I started to realize that I think the only opinion that really, really matters, and not to disregard your family's opinions at all, but I think the main opinion that matters the most is your own. And so if I, and I love my parents so much, and I love my mom very much, and her and I have a very special relationship. So if, I would want to introduce you to her because I love you both. And it's something it would be really cool for you to get to know each other. And like same with like my siblings, like meeting my siblings, that would be really cool because I also love them very much. And I get really excited when the people that I care about spend time together or like share a space together, or like when you met Reve and y'all were hanging out and talking, I got really excited. I'm like, that's so cool, that the people in my life are getting along and we can share a space together. And I think that to me is like the main thing. That goes with parents, but I don't think there's a specific timeline, I guess, to that either. Like, when should you meet the parents? It's up to you. It's up to you and your comfort level.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that there should be a specific timeline. I think do whatever you think is best for you in your relationship, and you know your relationship best with your parents and with your family. So I think you, listener, take whatever you think is best for you. For me personally, I grew up in a Mexican culture. And for us, at least the way I was raised with my family, they didn't want to meet my partners unless it was serious.
Okay.
They didn't never really told me this, but I saw it based off of my older cousins or my older sister. So they didn't really say this, but they did kind of in a way enforce that. But I was like, fuck that. I'm not a super traditional person. And so like my mom has met all of my other partners. And I didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't think it should be a big deal. Like being said, like I love my mother, like you like raised me, you know me, so I want you to know and meet who I've been hanging out with, who also spends time with me. So I never made it a big deal, but I did think it was important for them to meet because Jesus is a really big important in my life, and my mom is a big, and also the rest of my family. And now like they love Jesus, and it's kind of annoying because they're always like, when I go home and Jesus isn't there, they're like, where is he? Like, when is he gonna come? Like, how's he doing? Like, you know what I mean? So that's one of the reasons why I introduced him to my family, is because I wanted them to get to know him too, because he is a big part of my life.
What happens if your parents don't like your partner, or their parents don't like you?
Ooh,
that's really hard. And I was saying
hard.
earlier, I truly do believe that the opinion that matters the most is your own, because you are your own person and you're the only person living in your body and it's your life. At the same time, at least to me, it does matter what my mom thinks, because she raised me. She knows me very well, and I love her so much. So it would just be really, really hard if she didn't like my partner,
it would be hard.
But like,
and I'm so nervous to like meet your mom. I'm so nervous to meet her mom.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Her mother is so nice and just a great person. I think you'll be fine.
Thank you.
But I do think being off of that, I have experienced not being liked by the person who I was with, their parent not liking me. And I've experienced that. And I think it doesn't necessarily have to be like what they think, which, I mean, obviously you value what they think, but at the same time, like, if you're in that situation, you should look at how your partner is reacting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they should be the person who should be standing up for you. And if they're not, that is a problem too. And maybe that's not the person who you should be with, if they're not willing to do that. Because yes, you can value your parents, what they think, but at the end of the day, they're not with that person. It's your partner who's with you. Like, and you should really look out for how they react. And
but it can be hard. So
it can be hard, and
it's hard. Easy.
I don't know. I've never been with it, like someone really, really doesn't like you, and like, because that, depending on their relationship with their parent, like maybe some people aren't as close and it really doesn't matter, but maybe some people are super, super close and it does matter. So it will affect your relationship regardless, I think.
And also depends, where do you go from there? Like, you're right, like if your partner defends you, or if you talk about it, does your partner continue to try to build a relationship with your parents? And should it be their responsibility to continue trying? Is there a certain point where you've done what you could, and then whatever, like it is what it is. There's like a lot of things that
it's
go
a
with
lot.
Yeah.
Ooh, good thing I'm not dealing with that. That's tough.
Yeah, that's hard. So let us know what y'all think about everything we've talked about. We are gonna wrap it up. These were I really enjoyed this episode a lot. And these are things that like I can finally like have actual answers to, because I'm starting to like experience some of these things. So it was exciting for me at least to do this. But thank you so much for being with us. This was fun.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
You're always welcome back, by the way.
Big fan.
So yes, thank you. And let us know what y'all think about these questions.
Yeah.
I would love to hear other perspectives and hear about your experiences.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yep. Thank you.
All of their platforms. Where can they find you?
They can find us. Y'all can find us on YouTube, Awkwardly Random with Cinthia and Michelle. You can find us on any platform that you get your podcasts from. Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that kind of stuff.
And YouTube.
And then YouTube.
Obviously. If you're watching on YouTube.
Yes, exactly. Okay, y'all, we're going to wrap it up for now. We're going to continue maybe another conversation, dig deeper into some other topics, other questions surrounding these type of topics. Let us know if y'all enjoyed it, if y'all have any questions that you want us to address during our episodes. Okay, we're going to sign off. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you.
Catch you at the next
Bye.
Rock on. Peace out.